Hi, welcome to another edition of Shabbat Lounge, and my aunt has definitely been on my mind after losing my aunt who lived on this earth for 83 years, and the whole time I knew her, she was the real deal. She really walked the walk and talked the talk. She was not one of these kind of people that say, son, this is the way you really should live your life. You know that I do this, but you shouldn't do this. Those kinds of things never came out of her mouth. She was the real deal. And I never once in my life heard her say a bad thing about anybody. I never heard her cuss. I never saw her drink. I never saw her have really any bad vices in her life. So many of us have stories where we did some stupid stuff when we were younger. And Anne didn't have those stories, and if she did, she certainly never let me know. And I never knew any of those things. And she taught me the value of hard work and how to put in a good day's work. But she also taught me that to enjoy life and have fun, to work all day real hard and do something fun. And she taught me that that was okay, that it didn't have to be all work 24/7, that you should do some things that you enjoyed to do. And she also taught me a thirst for knowledge. She was a school teacher, and so she saw everything as a learning opportunity. She saw everything as a way in which we could learn something from the world around us. She was not afraid to take an adventure. She was not afraid to go down the road less traveled. She would drive along and go, you know what, I've never been to McAdoo. I don't know what's in McAdoo, Texas. And we'd see the sign on the road and we would just go find out. And it might be nothing, or it might have been some amazing place. But Anne was a remarkable person, too, because she never lived anywhere except the old farmhouse that basically she was born at. She was born in a hospital, but, she came into that house and never really left it. She left for a time to go to college, had a few teaching jobs outside of the farm, but once, she never really left the place. It was always home to her. For about 83 years, basically, that was home, which is pretty amazing to be able to live your entire life in a house that you have always called your home. Not many people can say that. So I have attached a photo to this post, and it represents, there's now an empty chair where Anne once was. And there's definitely a hole to be filled, and there's a space to be filled. But I do know that Anne is just sleeping, and it's a temporary thing. And she will soon have a new body and be able to jump up and down and run and not be constrained by the limits of her old flesh. And I look forward to seeing her and hearing about her being reunited with her father and her mother and her brother. And that's the great part of the story, is she won. She won the victory. And I know that Anne would want other people to come to understand that they must come to Yeshua. They must be saved. Now, Anne did not share my beliefs, but she's the one. She did help start me in my faith journey and keep me pointed the right direction. But she would be the first to tell you've got to believe in Jesus. You've got to know that He's the only way to salvation. His name literally is salvation in Hebrew. But she definitely believed that wholeheartedly, which I do too. And she believed that you had to live right, that you couldn't just say, I believe in Jesus, that's cool, it's all right. No. But Anne was a person of action, and if somebody said they believed in Jesus, but their life said something different, she didn't believe them, and neither do, the rest of us. And so Anne believed that living this life for Jesus, you should be transformed. That it should change who you are as a person. It should change how you speak, how you think, how you act. It should change the music you listen to. It should change the movies that you watch. Anne hated all the modern TV. She hated all of the violence and all the sex and all the craziness. And that's why she watched so many Westerns, because she could watch a Western and it wasn't full of just crazy stuff. Yeah, they did shoot people in Westerns, but it wasn't even tremendously bloody and gory. Not like today, where everything is pushing the envelope. And but once again, I just encourage you to live your life purely, live your life in such a way that other people one day will be able to have as nice a words as I do for Anne about you. And I think that's what we every time someone dies, we should look at their life and learn from it. And that's what we need to learn from someone like Anne, is live your life in such a way that people know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you were who you said you were, and you belonged to Jesus, and everybody knows. So once again, go home, study, search the scriptures, and thank you for listening to Shabbat Lounge.